here, I feel very much at home. The cool breeze blowing off the water right through my through the balcony here. It's just like my house. You know, I have a house that's 18. By the way, I can't afford a comedian. I'm going to do my own jokes. I'll just recount this. We have a house that's 1860, we think, and they came over to do an energy audit on it, and the guy says, you're going to need to invest about $20,000, and this was 20 years ago, because we've calculated the air turns over in your house about 20 times a day. Okay? But my wife and I weren't sure what we wanted to do, because it was about that time they started talking about radon gas, and does anybody talk about radon anymore? We were scared. We're thinking, we're getting all it, and we got big granite blocks in the basement, you know, for our foundation. We're worried about getting radiated. So we said, well, maybe the breeze is good, okay? So we cut the baby in half. We got a little bit of insulation and still a little bit of breeze. So I think we'll be all right for a while. I was the first one in this race. We all talk about small businessmen. You're looking at one. And to prove a point, last night after I got off the campaign trail in Hingham, they had their 375th anniversary. I went to my office just for kicks and did a corporate tax return. And tonight when I leave you lovely people, I'll go back to the office and I'll do a personal tax return. So I am a small businessman. I know firsthand what it's like. And I will always take the chance to mention, this economy, America has always been a great country, despite the government. The government always likes to take credit. They're producing jobs, you know, Obama creates these numbers out of who knows what. He's not creating any jobs. It's small businessmen who I call myself, I'm the rubber band man. If we need X work done in the next 3 days and there's nobody to do it, guess what? I do it. That's what small business is. Whether it's a hardware store, a dry cleaner, a gas station, that's what makes this country great, despite the tinkering of the government. How does the government tinker? Well, I can tell you firsthand. For example, and these are professional politicians doing this, driving down here, and I almost ran out of gas. In fact, that's why I was late. I was trying to find gas on Route 149. I realized I picked the wrong road. Who designed this district that goes from Quincy down to the Cape and Islands? It's about 25 miles wide, maybe, and 120 miles long. Professional politicians, okay? Who's designed this medical care program that we're confronted with? Professional politicians, very wise people, they will tell you. And I know this, they want us to produce 1099s. Well, I know what it's like to produce 1099s. I know what it's like to produce W-2s, and you got to file a quarterly 941 report. If you ask a congressman what's a 941 report, you people may not if you're not doing your own payroll. That's something you got to get right, and if you don't get it right 4 times a year, if it doesn't match your W-2s, guess what? You pay penalties. This is why the Globe didn't endorse me. I'll tell you this story. I'm sitting across from 4 Globe editors. One of them has a bow tie, just like Howard Carr says. He asked me, we're talking about federal compliance, issues like that, and I said, you know, we as small businessmen have to do this work for the federal government. We're their collection agencies. If we get it wrong, they penalize us. I said, wouldn't it be nice if the federal government gave the businessman a stipend, maybe 0.5% or 1% of what they collect for all the expense, time, and trouble they're going to? And the bow-tied fellow says, you want us to pay them? And I explained it again, and he yelled it louder. He says, you want us to pay them? And then in the Globe editorial, he says, I was unfamiliar with the issues, although I was a passionate guy. So this is the mentality you're dealing with. Now, I got into this, if I haven't said it yet, a year ago. I was the first one in. Why did I get in? For all the reasons I've said. It was also Jenna Napolitano not protecting the border. Eric Holder, even worse, not doing his job. As far as I'm concerned, he's criminal. The top law enforcement officer is a criminal, suing Arizona for trying to protect its citizens. And this is what it comes down to, protecting the property and lives of those citizens. The wives and women are afraid to go out at night. They don't drive their car after sunset. This is serious. And this guy is suing them? And then he's suing Sheriff Joe Arpaio? Give me a break. In January, before the election, I was at a reception for Scott Brown, shook hands with him. He was trying to stay on his feet. He shakes hands with everybody. He was dog-tired. So I don't know if he was really listening, but I said, there's something I can do if I'm elected to Congress that you can't do if you're when you're elected to the Senate. And he said, what's that? And I said, I can file articles of impeachment against Eric Holder. That's got to be done. And that's something about me that I think is unique in this field. I want to be a Republican who puts the Democrats on defense. I want to be a fighter, okay? Republicans are too nice. They're too gentlemanly. We need fighters. And as I say, and it usually gets a laugh, I want to be a two-fisted fighting accountant congressman. We need somebody with pluck to fight these guys, keep them off balance until we get Obama out in 2012. We can't just react to them. We have to step into their face and fight them. We got to challenge them. You impeach Eric Holder, you roll back Obamacare, you force them to deal with us. No more Mr., as my Turkish friend would say, no more Mr. Nice Man, okay? We have to push them. And so that's what I want to do. That's what impelled me. But even before that, and I'm coming to my close, for the first time in my life, I thought about the investment that we've all made, our families have made in this country. In my case, my father, who fought up the boot of Italy, fought through France, fought through Germany, lost his best army buddy to German machine gun fire. And before he went in the service, he showed me the letter dated December 5th, 1941. It was a Navy buddy that he went to school with. 2 days later, he was killed in Pearl Harbor. Excuse me, I get emotional about this. And he got that letter about 10 days later. That's what we're fighting for. We've got to win. Appreciate your support. Thank you.